Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. 2 individuals are wanted by the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office. According to officials, Cruz Maria Perez Mesa and Daniel Martinez, also known as Hector Martinez, are wanted for allegedly scamming individuals seeking immigration assistance. Luzerne County officials say Martinez presented himself as an immigration attorney to several members of the community in Wilkes-Barre with assistance from Perez. According to investigators, Martinez accepted payment from at least 11 different victims for immigration services, but never provided the promised assistance. Officials say the scams took place between September of 2023 and April of 2024. Anyone with information regarding the case or the suspect's whereabouts is asked to contact Detective Neil Murphy at 570-825-1674. Crews from Mackinac, Berwick, and Plymouth assisted in a water rescue on the Susquehanna River Sunday afternoon. According to officials, crews were called to the scene after Dave Shima, a boater from Hazleton, hit an eel wall near Mackinac. Officials say Shima had been in a shallow channel of the river when his motorboat shut down and began taking on water. Upon arrival at the scene, crews were able to retrieve Shima and tow his disabled boat back to the Shikshini launch. No injuries were reported. Pennsylvania State Police are asking the public in help for locating a missing person. According to troopers, 90-year-old Robert Oliver was first reported missing on Sunday. Officials say Oliver is from Huntington County. He was last seen in the area of Bobby Lane and Spruce Creek Road in Franklin Township. Oliver is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall and 140 pounds and with white hair and blue eyes. Officials say he was last seen wearing a red and blue plaid shirt, blue jeans, and a blue hat. According to police, Oliver may be at a special risk of harm or injury or may be confused. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to call 911 immediately. Coming up on WYLN News, Hazleton Public Transit makes an announcement for the National Dump the Pump Day. Plus, Patchtown Days returns to Eckley Miners Village. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and the forecast for tomorrow is partly cloudy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
welcome back to Wyln News. In honor of National Dump the Pump Day, Hazleton Public Transit Office has announced that they will be offering free rides on Monday, June 17th. National Dump the Pump Day celebrates public transportation as a way for residents to save money and help the environment. The free rides are open to the public and include all the normal routes. Senator David Argyle has announced that he will be hosting a telephone town hall meeting on Wednesday, June 12th. During the event, constituents will have the opportunity to ask the senator about any state-related issues including education funding, taxes, roads, and crime. The event will run from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Anyone interested in participating who does not receive an automated call at 5:30 p.m. can dial 877-229-8493 and use the PIN number 111786 when prompted. Patchtown Days are returning to Eckley Miners Village this weekend. Running from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, June 15th and Sunday, June 16th, Patchtown Days is an annual festival that celebrates northeastern Pennsylvania culture. During the event, participants will have the opportunity to listen to live Americana music, participate in educational programs, and visit Eckley's Visitor Center and historic buildings. A variety of traditional craftspeople will also be at the event to demonstrate broom making, basket weaving, quilting, soap making, and much more. Admission to the event is $10 for adults, $9 for seniors, and $8 for youth. Children 2 years and under enter for free. Eckley will also be offering an after-hours concert featuring the Dishonest Fiddlers and Serene Green on Saturday evening at 4 p.m. Admission to the concert is $18 at the gate or included with regular admission before 3 p.m. Coming up on Pittston's News Choice, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Pottsville Part 1. Plus, we check with the Luzerne County Manager Romilda Kokomo on Kokomo's County Report. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book? One that understands the process and upholds Christian values in its business practices?
Introducing Covenant Books, an author-friendly publisher who shares your beliefs and wants to publish your story. Call us today to get a free author packet to help get you started.
We realize your book is unique, personal, and written with a higher purpose. That's the content we're looking for.
We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process with professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the industry.
Covenant distributes and sells your book online and in bookstores everywhere. We convert your book in ebook format and sell it on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and to these distributors. Our authors love us.
So if you've written a biography, a devotional, a memoir, self-help, or any genre, we can help. Be like these authors and get your book published and sold today.
Call right now for your free writer's guide.
1-800-215-3680.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
beginning of Pottsville's history can, in many ways, be traced to hunter Necho Allen. The story goes that on one night in 1790, Allen came to stop for the night at the base of Sharp Mountain in the northern edge of what was then Berks County. Allen fell asleep, and when he awoke, he was amazed to find his campfire burning wildly. It had ignited a seam of anthracite coal that was above the ground. Word quickly spread about the find, and by 1795, an anthracite-powered forge had been set up by the area by the Schuylkill River. In 1806, the forge was taken over by John Pott. Pott, not related to John Potts, who founded Pottstown in Montgomery County, spearheaded efforts to lay out a town in the area, which became part of the new Schuylkill County in 1811. Surveyor Henry Donnell laid out the town in 1816. It would be incorporated and named in Pott's honor 3 years later. What would arguably be Pottsville's best-known business opened in 1829. 1 year earlier, David Gottlieb Yingling had immigrated to the area from Stuttgart, Germany. Yingling promptly opened what he called the Eagle Brewery on Center Street in Pottsville. After a fire in 1831, the brewery was moved to a new facility at its current location on Montongo Street. Once David's son Frederick joined the family business in 1873, the brewery's name was changed to D.G. Yingling & Son. 5 generations of the Yingling family, David, Frederick, Frank, Dick Sr., and Dick Jr., have carried it on through good times and bad, building Yingling into what is now the largest entirely American-owned brewery in the country. Yingling survived Prohibition by producing near beers and creating a brand of ice cream. Once Prohibition was repealed, then company president Frank Yingling sent a truck of its winter beer to the White House to thank Franklin Roosevelt. Yingling's flagship beer, its traditional lager, was introduced in 1987, based off an old recipe not used in decades. Its porter and Lord Chesterfield Ale remain other popular Yingling brands today. Yingling's ice cream was discontinued in 1985, but was revived in recent years. Meanwhile, coal production would take off in the decades to come. The Philadelphia and Reading Coal and Iron Company, which was spun off from the railroad company of the same name, would buy up large tracts of land around the Pottsville area. It would be one of Pennsylvania's largest coal companies for decades to come. With this growth came a movement to transfer Schuylkill County's seat from Orwigsburg to Pottsville, which was more centrally located in the county and had better transportation connections at the time. After some years of discussion, Pottsville did become Schuylkill County's seat in 1851. By the mid-1850s, anthracite coal production was booming in Pottsville and all of Schuylkill County. One of the biggest advocates for increased coal mining had been prominent Kentucky Senator Henry Clay. Clay, who had run unsuccessfully for president 3 times in his career, advocated strong tariffs on foreign iron to make American iron, which was smelted with the assistance of coal, more valuable. In gratitude for Clay's champions of the industry, a movement began, originally thought up by mine owner Samuel Silliman and pushed by local newspaper magnate Benjamin Bannon, to place a statue of Clay in Pottsville. On June 23, 1855, 3 years after Clay's passing, a 15-foot statue of the former senator was dedicated in the community. Although Clay's reputation is more mixed in the present given his status as a slaveholder, his statue still stands over Pottsville today. In 1861, the Civil War broke out. Pottsville natives would play important roles in the beginning, middle, and end of the conflict. At the beginning, there was Nicholas Biddle, a free African-American who joined the local militia, the Washington Artillerists, to defend Washington from Southern attack in the early days of the war. While passing through strongly pro-Southern Baltimore, the militia had to make their way through angry mobs, many of which were not happy to see an African-American serving with federal troops. During a skirmish that broke out between both sides, Biddle was hit in the face by a thrown brick, seriously injuring him. He is often considered the first casualty of the war. In 1862, James Noggle would find his way into the war's annals. Originally born in Reading, his family had come to Pottsville when he was 13, where he had apprenticed as a paper hanger and painter. Having seen earlier service in the Mexican War, he was, upon the outbreak of the Civil War, named Colonel of the 6th Pennsylvania Infantry. In April 1862, he would be given command of the 1st Brigade of the 9th Corps. His unit would have its moment of glory at Antietam, where it would play a major role in repelling the Confederate attack at Burnside Bridge later in the battle. Ill health forced Noggle's resignation after Antietam, although he would re-enlist after the Army of Northern Virginia invaded Pennsylvania in June 1863. Following Gettysburg, he mustered out again, then re-enlisted once more for 100 days in 1864, a tenure spent mostly guarding Baltimore. James Noggle died soon after the war in 1866. Later in 1864, as the siege of Petersburg by Union troops dragged on, Pottsville's Colonel Henry Pleasants of the 48th Pennsylvania approached his superiors with a grand plan. The experienced coal miners under his command would dig a tunnel underneath Confederate lines, fill it with explosives, and detonate it, theoretically blowing a major hole in the southern position. Although Union commanders had little interest in the plan, which they saw as mostly a brief diversion during the siege, they approved it. Working with minimum materials, Pleasants and his men dug a T-shaped mine over 500 feet long under the Confederate lines, changing its direction in several locations to evade Southern efforts to dig it in from above. The mine was then loaded with 8,000 pounds of gunpowder. On July 30th, 1864, the fuse was lit. Although as it was a poor quality fuse, it burned out at a splice point before reaching the gunpowder. Pleasant's troops relit the fuse, and at 4:44 a.m., the gunpowder exploded, blowing a massive crater 170 feet long and 30 feet deep in the Confederate position. Unfortunately, the subsequent Union attack was mismanaged, with Northern troops repeatedly stumbling down into the crater where the recovered Southerners easily picked them off. This mismanagement had been made worse when the ambivalent Union commanders had, in a political move, switched the duty of leading the attack from a fresh African-American unit to a battle-tired Caucasian unit, the commander of which was found drunk behind his own lines during the attack. The North lost 3 times as many men in the attack as did the Southern defenders, and numerous Union commanders would be relieved of their duty following the debacle. The Battle of the Crater, as it became known, ultimately failed, and the siege of Petersburg would drag on into 1865. Henry Pleasants himself, though, ended the war with honor, having commanded the 2nd Brigade of the 9th Corps for a time. After the war, he returned to Pottsville and worked as a mine engineer until his death in 1880. Finally, after the war itself had ended, one more Pottsville native, John Weaver, stepped onto history's stage. A member of the original 1st Defenders that had been among the first units to volunteer for war service, he was attending the performance of Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater when John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln. Weaver was one of 6 men who carried the mortally wounded Lincoln out of the theater and across the street to the Peterson House, where he would die the following morning. For this reason, Weaver is sometimes listed to as Lincoln's last volunteer.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. John. This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Our Slay was in a terrible accident. She was in so much pain when she first came here. I'm sure she was afraid, don't hurt me. So tune in on the show and listen to her story of how chiropractic is helping her to get back to normal life again.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Crocomo's County Report. I am here as always with Luzerne County Manager Ramilda Crocomo. Ramilda, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Very good.
Very good indeed. So the one thing we wanted to talk about today is, which is approaching very fast, is the upcoming concert series, Rockin' the Mountain, that's happening right here in Hazleton. I know we've talked about Rockin' the Mountain many times here on WYLN through many segments, but I'm pretty sure there might be some viewers who aren't very familiar with what exactly Rockin' the Mountain is. So could you tell us about this concert series?
I will. I'm very happy to talk about this. And this is an evolution from our Rockin' the River series that takes place on the Susquehanna River at the River Commons. That's in July. When I started as county manager in May of 2023, I thought, why not have a series here in the southern part of the county in Hazleton. I approached the mayor. I was anticipating one concert, but but with the mayor's input, we're having 3. And they begin Friday, June 21st. So I just want to remind everyone that Friday, June 21st, it'll be Philadelphia Freedom, which is a Elton John tribute band. And on June 28th, will be an evening with Stevie, which is a tribute band to Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. And then Friday, July 5th, it'll be Danny V's 52nd Street Band, which is a tribute to Billy Joel. So we have 3 series, just like we have 3 series in Wilkes-Barre, 3 series in Hazleton, and there'll be food trucks, and it's just a nice way to enjoy the evening with family and friends. And I just want to remind people that there are things to do here in Luzerne County and here in the southern part of the county.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the Rockin' the River concert series over in Wilkes-Barre, and I believe that will be happening right after Rockin' the Mountain takes place here in Hazleton.
Correct.
Yep. And could you tell us about the lineup for Rockin' the River this year?
Well, I'm hoping to have Alan Stout on, and he will give you a detailed report on Rockin' the River.
Absolutely. It's always great to have Alan on the show as well. I know you also are making preparations for what will soon be the upcoming November election here in Pennsylvania. It takes many, many long months to prepare for a big election like that's coming up this November. So could you tell us about how the process has been so far in getting that all set up?
Well, it's warm out now, but we are meeting already to prepare for November, which we'll be wearing our coats and our sweaters and our hats. So there are a lot of things that we have to do. I will be making pitches weekly for individuals who want to be poll workers. You can go to our website. That involves being trained. You go through training, and we'll have in-person training, and we're going to roll out training on our website. Have individuals have the ability to be trained. We'll have a video to be trained. You get paid for the training and for working the polls. It's a long day. Election day is a long day. The polls open at 7, which means our judges of election and poll workers have to be there very early, around 6 a.m. to make sure that all the machines are operating efficiently and be ready to open the doors for the voters. Voting ends at 8 o'clock unless there's a line. If there's a line, then we stay open until that line is completed that existed at 8 o'clock. So it's a long day, but it's worth it. We need people to help us to have another successful election. We do this all together. It's a team effort, and democracy and votes matter, and I'm hoping that you'll take the time to help us make sure that this election is successful.
Yes, it's very impressive to see how much work goes into preparing for elections such as these here in Pennsylvania. And just as Ramilda said, you can go on to the county website to register to become a poll worker if you decide to do that this year. And as always, I want to thank Ramilda for joining us here on Crocomo's County Report. We'll see you next time.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.